What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. In this video, I want to talk about the internal dialogue of the Archon. We've gone over this extensively in the past. There's tons of videos in my archive where I discuss the internal dialogue, but I just want to make an updated video talking about it because it is of utmost importance that people become privy to their own internal dialogue if they want to attain a state of mental sovereignty and peace where they don't have a bunch of mental chatter and clutter going on in their heads. So contrary to widespread popular upheld belief worldwide, people talk to themselves constantly in their heads, etc. There is constantly a stream of internal dialogue moving through your mind all throughout the day, etc. Now, the problem with this internal dialogue is that it's not actually you 95% of the time. You are not actually generating those thoughts. Now, if you're interested, you can do one of the 4 exercises that I talk about on this channel. I have 4 inner exercises, but one of those 4 exercises, if I can speak today, it's pretty fucking cold out here, guys. One of those exercises is called the thoughtlessness exercise. And what you do in this exercise is you sit in a dark room in an upright position or laying down, and you try to enter into a state of absolute thoughtlessness. You try to ward away all forms of thought, mental activity, etc. Now, after about 5 minutes of doing this, usually it only takes about 10 seconds, you will witness a stream of thoughts, feelings, mental projections, images, appetites. You will witness all of these things moving through your head. Thoughts, again, words, full sentences, etc. Now, this is the interesting part about the thoughtlessness exercise. When you do the thoughtlessness exercise, you will be witnessing, as an observer, the internal dialogue, the chatter, the images, etc., the emotions. You will be observing it like you're an observer, imagine right now there's a stream in front of me, right? Just moving along. I'm the observer of the stream. Let's replace stream with thoughts, feelings, emotions. When you do the thoughtlessness exercise, you are sitting back and observing the stream of emotions, thoughts, mental projections, etc. that are moving through your mind. Now, if you are the observer of the thoughts, then you are not the thoughts, you are not the feelings, you are not all of these emotions moving through your system. All of these things have hijacked our consciousness, our awareness, and are operating on their own volition. I call this the internal dialogue of the Archon, the constant chatter. One of the most important things for your health is to do the thoughtlessness exercise, locate the foreign installations of the Archon, these thoughts, etc., and selectively remove them over a period of time so that you can have a blank slate, right? Otherwise, these thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. will literally steer your life. They will direct your appetites. They will motivate you to do things in your life that oftentimes are counterproductive to your own benefit. And we learn to identify with the internal dialogue because it's in our own mind, right? We think that it's ours. We think that we're generating it. No. You are, again, the observer of the thoughts. You are not the thoughts. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because the thoughtlessness exercise is of utmost importance. The inner exercises are crucial. Taking the Shilajit resin, taking the alpha brain, getting your magnesium levels up, grounding yourself, all of these things are of absolute importance as well. But they have to be done in tandem with the inner exercises. Otherwise, you'll be leaving out a completely, or how would I explain this? You'll be leaving out a huge piece to the puzzle of health if you don't use the inner exercises to your benefit. They exist. We talk about them, or how would I say this? I talk about them so often because they are a launch pad for your mental growth and mental mastery in a world that is wrought without mental mastery. So many people don't have control over their thoughts, their mind, etc. If you can obtain a state of control over your thoughts, you will have a huge advantage over this insane world that we live in that I like to call the Matrix. So, the thoughtlessness exercise allows you to sit back and observe all the activity in your mind that's just operating on its own volition. It's like a repetitive wheel that's always there. So the more you do the thoughtlessness exercise, the more you come into contact with these foreign installations and you ignore them and you let them pass, the more they will leave your consciousness to the point where your mind is cleansed, clear, and empty. Now, once you become proficient in the thoughtlessness exercise, you should start to dovetail, or you should start to also do the motionlessness exercise. The Archons cannot stand stillness. They cannot stand a lack of movement. And our bodies are programmed with the internal dialogue to constantly want to move. Most people do not stop moving until it's time to go to bed. And even then, people toss and turn all night, right? The motionlessness exercise is when you go into a dark room and you sit still without moving a muscle for as long as you can. Start out for the minute, then go to 2 minutes, then 3 minutes, then 4 minutes, then 5 minutes. A lot of our programming that controls our lives is stuck in our muscle memory. The motionlessness exercise works out all of the programs in the muscle memory. The amount of progress and benefit and power that can come from you learning how to be motionless is beyond your wildest dreams, folks. So we learn with the inner exercises, 2 of them that I'm talking about in this case, the thoughtlessness exercise and the motionlessness exercise. We learn to freeze and still the mind and the body. And in doing that, we gain equanimity between body and mind, because the body and the mind are both loaded with residual programs that have attached to us unknowingly by default as we grew up in this matrix, right? And they installed like programs into our consciousness and into our muscle memory, like Trojan horse weapon systems. And most of us don't even know that we have these. So the thoughtlessness and the motionlessness, these exercises allow you to come into contact with your muscle memory programming and your mental programming. And it allows you, based on how often you do it, to let go of all of it so that you can have an empty chalice, right? So that you can then fill that chalice with the right things, because most of us are garbage bins for the matrix. And I don't mean to judge people by saying that. The matrix has thrown stuff into us, into our bodies and into our minds, that controls us from behind the scenes. We have to learn to calm down the mind as well. And that's why we have the full body relaxation exercise that works on the mind and the body, and the inner temple exercise. We go into the mind, we travel the vast labyrinth of the mind so that we can come into contact with our own personal power source. We exit the conscious mind and go into the subconscious. So a lot more can be said about this. I'm going to wrap this one up. It's freezing out here, you guys. Do the inner exercises in tandem with the mineral programs, the mushrooms. You're going to be just fine. Peace be with you.